Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols and I'm here to give you your Nichols Worth, and today we are featuring the NASB 1995 Classic Reference Bible. This one doesn't release till the end of August, and I've got it right here in my hand with the buffalo cover, and as you can see it has a clamshell box, and then you get into the brown buffalo leather cover. The reason I have this guy out here is because it's kind of a cousin to this one, because this is the blue buffalo leather. So if you have this one, you pretty much know the feel and the lay of the land of this one. This one's a little more of a hand-sized, to where this one's more of your regular full-size verse-by-verse layout. When you open this one up, you'll see perimeter gold, edge lining, all the stuff that you're used to seeing in your kind of semi-in-between premium Bibles with Zondervan and Thomas Nelson. And the reason I call this one as in between is because it does have a synthetic liner, but it pretty much has everything else that you would want as far as bells and whistles. It does not have the 36 GSM European paper, but it does have pretty good paper. So now let's look at this one. Of course, you're going to have the same. It's going to have a brown, kind of a synthetic perimeter gold. Corners don't look bad on this. So when you're considering in between, this one's somewhere around 80 bucks, and once you open it up, it's got a pretty good look to it. Now, one thing about this one that I will say is the text does want to kind of sneak down in that gutter, so that may be an issue for some people. I don't know how that'll break in, but I'm gonna kind of spread it out to let you know how much space you'll have kind of once that breaks in. But that is something you may want to keep in mind, is that the gutter space is pretty limited in this. There's not a whole lot of margin space. It is a verse-by-verse layout, a 9.5 font, and the references are in the center, and they are small. Now, one thing that's interesting about this is it not only has the references, but it also has the textual footnotes in the center column. So there will be no footnotes on the bottom. That's really interesting, and I have to admit, I don't mind that at all. And the reason I like it better than, say, bottom references is because you may have a reference here, but then your footnote is still going to be kind of standalone. It could be a little tough to separate them, but at least they're not all bunched together. Now, one thing that's interesting about this, it is a verse-by-verse layout, but as you go through some of the pages, you will notice there are charts and little things kind of spread out through here. I can't remember how many there are, but just spread out throughout the text, you will find that it has different charts and maps and different things throughout it. There's the return from Exile Map, and I love this red. It's kind of dark under gold gilding here. So this is really interesting that they would choose to take this format, kind of make it a little bit smaller, make it a little bit thicker, because this one's closer to 2 inches while this one's just about 1. And then go ahead and throw in a few maps and charts and different diagrams. Let me look and see if I can tell you how many there are on the back of the box. The Words of Christ, 14. So there's only 14 in there, so that's why it was a little difficult for me to find them. It's not a whole lot. It does have double-sided satin ribbons. Very nice. Excellent layout. And, of course, there's another map. You're going to have your red letter. Now, the red letter in your Comfort Print is always going to be outstanding. It's always going to be excellent. The same with this one. You're going to have beautiful red letter text. Just to give you a couple more comparisons to some other Zondervan NASB layouts, this is the Preaching Bible, and it is a verse-by-verse layout, and you can see it's very similar to these two. Very nice layout. And then you have your single column side reference. So all your references and notes are on the side. So depending on which layout you like the best, which lay of the land that you feel is the best, is really determining on which one you're going to get. Now, these are a tad more pricey because they are full premium, but I'm telling you, for the price range, this NASB 1995, this is not the 2020, this is the 1995 Classic Reference. It's called the Classic Reference for a reason. Also, this one does have some brief book introductions before each book. It also has your concordance in the back. Now, it is tiny. The font on that is very tiny, and then of course it's going to have your standard Zondervan maps. Raised hubs on the spine, lots of bells and whistles for a pretty low cost. So if you want something right in between premium, this may be a great layout for you. 9.5 font, so it's still pretty good and easy to read. I like it a lot. It's definitely not my favorite layout. This is my favorite layout. I love that side column layout, but it is for preaching, for reading, it is a phenomenal layout. So anyhow, there you have it. Keep calm. Jesus on. This is your Nichols Worth.